choice, yes. Yeah. So why not? Let's open the platform where we talk about immigration problem. We'll have to come up with an aggressive migration program to make sure that the individuals can actually be managed when they reach the country. Yeah. Because the type of exponential growth we will experience. We could choose how we want to control it, but clearly at the same time, Flowers and others could even have small subcategories of people who want to use that platform. I'm only talking about the service providers. I haven't even engaged the individuals who will have call centers to handle credit card processing. You'll have individuals who will have hosting services where they can host the computers and make sure it's up and running for those other gaming facilities around the world. Yeah, but see, Alan Johnson, there are a whole lot of behaviors who are suffering from myopia and who believe that there is a fundamental difference between Mr. Saul Kersner and Flowers. They believe that Mr. Kersner has an entitlement to this, and Flowers is a Bahamian. He has absolutely no entitlement. Those are the individuals that's adopted the colonial mindset from the former masters. They married that mindset.
Equitas,
and so
justice,
is that
fair, equity. There is none here in this country. This is an intelligent man, one of the most brightest minds on the planet, and he's a Bahamian. And they're hating on this man. He's laboring his point every day. But we understand. He's born to do and to be what he is today. As sure as the average Bahamian young men are born. Oriendus. It's a Latin word. Born means to. Born. Arising from. Spring from. Coming from. The young people understand where he's coming from. He did not just spring from and have this knowledge. He have prepared himself, as sure as I have prepared mine. And many other young Bahamians have prepared themselves. Okay? Veritas means truthful. Truth. Okay? Justice has flown to Brutus' beast. I heard a quote this morning. And men have lost their reasoning. End quote. Facebook, Twitter, Google. Critical thinker. He is the future of this country. People like him. The Bahamas government have raped on behalf of the foreign direct aggression foreigners. Have systematically given our natural resources and assets in the hands of foreigners. They refuse because they're afraid to die, to change the law. You can take the people's money, now you change your mind, you die for it. But I never take no one money. My father frowns on taking a bribe. Come on, brothers, y'all come to the line. Come to the line. Digitalization. That young man in that studio, the Latin word oriendus, when they were creating that word, I'm telling you, in the past, they were thinking about that same young man in your studio, which means, Bahamas, to born, arising from, springing from, coming from. The young people understand, the trillionaires now. We understand, you see? We understand that our natural resources, not foreign direct aggressive companies have systematically taken it from us through our government, corrupt men, 2 prime ministers who the power and authority should have been taken out of their hands a long time ago. My name, Critical Thinker, you know me, Amos Jr. Miller. Never again will I be heard on a national airwaves in this country again. Why? Because that young man in that studio, there is no justice for him. Acquietus. No equity. Okay? One of the reasons. Thank you. Now, let's finish. Just a minute. Okay, he wants to say something. Let me hear his point.
foreign direct investment is where you begin to utilize
Mr. Critical Thinker.
the monies from
Trust me,
within
I
your
can't even fix it like him.
citizens, not by foreigners coming in and owning. There's concepts out there for people who may not know called crowdfunding and hyperfunding. Essentially, it's a
Crowdfunding,
form of
hyperfunding.
where if you have an idea, you make a presentation to the global marketplace and you need $500,000, you have 500 people that send you $1,000 and you actually have the monies that you need. Some of them, based on the marketing regime that you may use, may not even want anything from it. But every single day, billions of dollars is funded. And this is something that's been advocated here in the Bahamas for 6 years by me, 9 years in the U.S. Barack Obama just approved it as part of his jobs program. And Europe has adopted crowdfunding as a means of financing. Anything under $5 million, you simply you don't need to go to the SEC or any type of approval.
Wow.
The misinformation is given our people is this thing in the Bahamas called currency control.
Currency control, that's right.
Control was meant to control currency leaving the Bahamas, not in. There was a position that normally when a large institutional investor come in the Bahamas, they would have to go to the Bahamas Investment Authority because there was an expectation of them taking profits out. But when you begin to talk about small profits, where the Bahamian can take out $10,000, so when you have a small Bahamian company maybe worth $500,000 or even $1 million, that will be giving less than $10,000, whatever amount of distribution and dividends, they really are not subject to that foreign currency that we have. But we have not educated people to that. We have misled them concerning the fact that they can have access to the digital global marketplace. And even
that's why they take away your smartphones.
It's something that can be remedied within one day. You did it for turtles, we did it for dogs, we did it for sharks. We
That's right.
do it for behemoths.
Thank you, Mr. Critical Thinker.
You are basically talking.
Now, Mr. Jones cut me very fast. So, since that's the point I was going to make, that's one of the reasons why I'm not coming back on those talk show, on his particular show, because he's a Jones from Acklands. What he knows exactly what I'm trying to get out, and he's doing everything in his power for this particular young man. See, because if he helped me, a Jones from Acklands, and I want the world to know, they're not responsible for me being alive. It was God Yahweh. Now, my name go back to history and a historical time period that is rich. And they're doing everything in their power to stop Amos J. Miller, Israel, from saying to the world and to his Bahamian people, the Bahamian government, and first, before I say that, let me reiterate a point so they can understand. And look me in my face, Mr. Ingram and Mr. Christie. You, too, represents the world system far as I'm concerned. In regards to the natural resources of the Bahamas and the Bahamian people's country and assets. Y'all represent the system. And at the end of the day, y'all have done everything in your power and very little, absolutely nothing to see that money, cash money, ends up in the hand of the average Bahamian. Yet you all too have allowed the rape and plundered of our country for as long as you all been governing it. That's 21 years. Okay? Now, I want you all to know, by the grace of the Most High, I seek the Father, my friends in the world, because there is no help, no hope for the people in this country. Y'all can be proud, y'all can be quiet, and then y'all can be fearful. Okay? Fearful. Okay? Now, and when I say fair, I mean F-E-A-R, not F-A-I-R. Equitas. Justice, equity, fairness. Isn't that what is lacking in our country? Huh? Well, according to my birth in 1970, and the historical records of my grandfather's generation, with the technology would exist, it's only a matter of time for me to get the telephone contact of that young man, Mr. Critical Thinker.
Exactly the same thing.
The Bahamas government.
When I go to Walmart, exactly the same thing that I do
is involved in a global governmental conspiracy to continue to defraud us out of our stuff. We need to vote.
Jurisdictional control ends the minute I log on.
When we vote, you need to be informed about your vote.
Respect to jurisdiction
You're voting, and I'm going to vote for one last time
in the Bahamas.
for the removal of Mr. Perry Glaston Christie from the prime ministership of this country. And by the way, Bahamas, only Amos and the cabinet could vote on this one. Y'all could second the motion. Mr. Perry Glaston Christie, your time in political office is up. The foreign national interest companies you and Mr. Ingram is guilty of allowing to come into our country and rape this country. I'm telling you, sir. Today, Amos Jr. Miller, and the J is not the junior to my father, but that stands for Justice Pro, sirs, with the greatest and the most awesome respect, and the greatest respect on behalf of the Bahamian people. These people are the offspring,
Nobody listened to me.
all right, myself and others, who must know this truth, are the offspring to these people. These are the people who own. These are the names. You had no right to sign agreements for now and for the foreseeable future in the 21 years your reign. And in the 21 years your reign, you'll bring harm and destruction in respect to the finances of the Bahamian people's treasury, because after all you would have done, the Bahamian dollar is just about standing on the skin of their teeth, we like to say, from being devalued, while you guys and your families are multi-millionaires. It is egregious, and I charge both of you for corruption, absolutely corruption. But at the end of it all, you guys are now convicted for corruption in my book, and the people will decide on the treason point of view. Now, as it relates to my name, y'all are charged for treason. Treason. Y'all have committed treason against these people. Y'all did everything to sell off their land to foreigners. Mr. Ingram and Mr. Christie, may God have mercy on y'all's soul.